There's been a lot of talk lately about this. It's not even available yet, but the Halloween fatality for Mortal Kombat 1 and how it's like, hey, you got to buy it. It's not something you can earn in the game itself. Like, you have to pay cash for it. And this, I'm so conflicted, like, extremely conflicted on this idea of microtransactions. In some regards, like, hey, having add on content can be a good thing. But then at times, it seems like it could be really bad. Like, they're going to nickel and dime us for every little tiny thing that's so insignificant. But is it insignificant to you as the player, as the consumer? Is it something where it should have just been included in some which way? Like, hey, it's a seasonal item, a Halloween fatality. Just give it to us. We bought your damn game. A lot of us bought, Mortal Kombat 1 Premium Deluxe Edition. That's the other thing. All these damn editions, man. It's crazy. But you know what? With this microtransaction stuff, we've done this to ourselves. Ever since the horse armor pack back in 2006 for freaking Oblivion. Oh my God, man. I remember when that came out. It was such a huge controversy. Paying $2.49 for some armor for your horse in a game. Like that was the end. That was the end. That was like, boom. If people are going to pay for this, $2.50 for some armor, a cosmetic in a game that's not like a mobile game, it's an actual physical game on a console. Man, these companies, they started really seeing the value in nickeling and diming us for all this boo-boo-ness, man. So I guess that's just the world that we live in. Paid DLC, little, microtransactions, things like that. It's really big with fighting games, which is frustrating. It's frustrating. If you're a day one purchaser of a new fighting game, Street Fighter 6, Mortal Kombat 1, it's like, if you're not going to be serious in the tournament scene or something, like, maybe wait, I guess, until like the ultimate version, the ultra version with all the DLC comes out and it gets sold for less than what you would be paying. Like, these games you pay full price, and then with all the DLC and all the add-ons and stuff like that, they're squeezing multiple full price games out of you. Do you remember this one? It just popped in my head when I was recording this video. How Capcom back in the day, like 2012, like 11 years ago, they were selling games, Street Fighter Cross Tekken, with paid DLC on the actual disc. That's some scandalous stuff. And I remember that irked me and plenty of other people, because the concept of video games to me was like, you ship me a complete game. I'm going to pay for it. I'm going to play it. I'm going to enjoy it. You ship me a full, complete game. They don't ship full, complete games anymore. And this was boo-boo-ness back then. 12 DLC characters that you could pay for like $20 for Street Fighter Cross Tekken, but they were already hard-coded in the disc. They were already there. All the assets and everything. You had to pay to unlock content that was actually on the disc. It was their logic at the time. Hey, if people buy this game and then people buy these characters, or they don't buy these characters, we want everybody to be prepared to support these characters. So if one person pays and another person doesn't, like, they still have the data on their disc, so you could fight each other, that kind of thing. And then like they went after, I think, I have the article up here, Capcom chasing Street Fighter Cross Tekken hackers who unlock DLC characters. It's kind of funny, like going after the people that, like, man, you paid for it, right? It had the characters on there. What the hell, man? But it's just, for a lot of us who grew up in the, 80s, 90s with video games, you were accustomed to, like, hey, a game came out, you bought it, it was a full, complete experience. There was no updates to it. There was no DLC. There was no add-ons for the most part, right? That was a good thing in a sense, but then it could also be a bad thing, because if they shipped the game that was buggy, or there's some kind of game-breaking glitch, there was no fixing that. And there definitely are examples of that happening, like in Nintendo 64 era, all the way back before then. There'd been games that slipped through the cracks that had issues, and you're just stuck with it. So there's pros and cons to, like, hey, we can update these games, but sometimes with that part of it, it seems like, well, you're not shipping a complete game to begin with, man. You're shipping me an incomplete game, and I had to either buy the completeness of it over time, or the seasons, the add-on packs, the characters, however you want to look at it, or like really okay, well, I got to download a huge update to make the game playable from day one, or whatever. Like, it seems like games go gold and get sent off to be downloaded digitally or physical copies, which are just like unlock keys for download anyway. That's the way it seems to me. And it's like they go gold and there's still issues. Like they just hurry up, get it done, and like, okay, we'll figure it out because we got to get these discs pressed. It'll just access the download to the full game that day, and we'll have it ready by then. And that's crazy, man. It's like you don't find too many games nowadays other than stuff like okay, Super Mario Wonder is an example. Not for everyone, I get it. It's Super Mario. Maybe you don't care about this kind of stuff, but like, hey, full complete game, boom, you can just play it. No required online, no DLC, microtransactions. You're not buying gold coins to have to buy, stuff. It's very rare nowadays that you will come across a game that is just complete from the get-go and you could play it, you know what I mean? Where you don't have to download anything. You don't have to, day one updates, that kind of. It's kind of the norm nowadays. But mostly I was talking about DLC and microtransactions and nickeling and diming us. And it's like, when you look at things like Mortal Kombat 1, Street Fighter 6, and all the paid stuff that you have to add to that, you don't have to. The way I look at it, like I really enjoyed Mortal Kombat 1, played through the story mode, played some some of the other modes here and there. I enjoyed it, but it's not a very serious game for me to where I feel like, oh, I'm gonna have to pay for more. I'm gonna have to buy all the little costumes and stuff like that with the real currency money that they have in the game. Like there's two currencies. A lot of games do that. Okay, well, there's currency you can earn in the game, and then you can buy certain things. And then there's currency you got to give us real money for. And you could buy premium things, type of thing. Like I bypass all that. I never buy any of these things. I was happy with the base game of Mortal Kombat 1 for the most part, other than the Switch version, obviously. And then like Street Fighter 6, same thing. I was mostly happy with the base game, but it's just knowing like there's more. There's stuff that if you want to experience it, you're gonna have to pay for. But then remember, Capcom especially, going back in the day, how many iterations of these Street Fighter games were there? Street Fighter 2, there was tons of them. And instead of like, hey, you could pay $5, $10, $20 to get these extra characters, no, you have to buy a whole new game, right? So there could be a pro to that like aspect of it. You'd be like, well, could be like back in the day, I buy this game and then they make a whole new version, add a bunch of characters. Now I got to buy the game all over again. So yeah, that could be looked at as a con. It's just, me just thinking, rambling and ranting on this stuff. Mortal Kombat didn't do that like how Capcom would. Like every damn Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 3, Street Fighter 4, holy crap, multiple iterations, and you buy a whole new game type of thing. Mortal Kombat, I think the only example I come up with is like Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 maybe, and that's like it, and that's not even that bad. But yeah, it's the way games are nowadays, and it really sucks. Either you accept it or you don't. But yeah, just lighthearted little rant and ramble for the day. Let me know what you guys think on this topic. Really do appreciate y'all. Bye.